We were told 250 insurgents were headed our way. They came down, threw off a 50 cal, threw off a box of grenades, pretty much told us, hold them off with the 50 cal, and then blow up our communication devices so that way they couldn't steal our encryption. And this is it. So that night, we weren't supposed to see the next day.
When you were sitting there in your hut and you're hearing the bombs drops, you hear the rattling, the bullets, and you can see shells coming down, that's when it all hits real. Most of the times when you jump into a C-130, you got to run off the ramp or you run on the ramp because you see tracer rounds coming towards you.
I was 18 years old when I went to Vietnam. I was a engineer, and we built roads, and where we built roads in Vietnam, they tried to blow them up. They were attacked one night, and our captain was killed, and several others.
Combat affects folks in a lot of different ways. We don't realize a lot of those things affect us until later on. Don't know why that is. Everyone's different. My dark days came much later after that, and it was after losing a lot of friends and Marines to suicide, which caused me to go into my black box, if you will.
I'd kept everything hidden in the back of my mind in what I call a little black box. And after the surgery, at first I became manic, and then I went into a deep depression, and then everything that was in that box came out.
So in 2009, we came across a tragedy in our community where we had lost a Marine. He had taken his life. And this was a Marine who had done by the book everything that you should be doing, going to the VA, talking to counselors, and he had even asked me for help. He knew that I had been injured overseas and had come back, and it looked like I was doing well. After that, I had lost 5 more friends to suicide. Each one of those had asked me for help. Each one of those, I saw the signs of trouble, and I did nothing to help them. And so, as a community, we decided, as providers, as fellow veterans, as family members who have lost loved ones or were going through that we needed to do something. We needed to bridge the gap of why aren't veterans seeking help? Why aren't providers able to help veterans? And what was the gap between the VA being able to provide services to the veterans? And so we created an organization that could bridge that gap, that could take a veteran from right as they're coming off of the battlefield, or even if they're active duty, and connect them with outside resources that are there ready to help them, and then train those providers as to how to deal with us.
So I think that with the peer-to-peer counseling, the way the military does it, I think it's phenomenal, and I think it works with veterans, because you can always walk up to a veteran and guess what? You had a kindred spirit because y'all do the same thing. And then you can start talking to them, and then they'll share, and something that they say will stick with you, will resonate with your soul, and that would help you say, man, I thought I was the only one who was feeling that way or going through that.
If you had cancer, would you not want to go out and find the cure? Would you not spend your life trying to figure out how to cure that thing? And I think that's what hit me. You know, I couldn't run from it anymore, so now I had to deal with it head on.
It was a collection of all these individuals, and their stories was just unbelievable. A shame that it's lost, because all those stories that they finally came out with. That's the history of the United States. That's the legacy of our military, and it's primarily been lost. And these were brave soldiers and Marines and sailors and airmen, and it's just an honor to be associated with them and to be able to sit there and listen to them.
I have to do this. This is my way of giving back. This is my way of coping. This is my way of continuing to serve and what gives me purpose.
That's when I really started feeling like, okay, my life's not over. It's kind of just beginning, because now I gotta learn how to deal with this. How can I live my life and still enjoy it without hurting those that you love?
When James is down, there are times when I'm down because I need some strength. So as a group, as far as Project Josiah and board members, we look out for each other, because we cannot not have a healthy mind and help someone else.
When a service member comes back home and they've survived trauma that you just can't imagine, and they come back home where they're supposed to be safe, and they take their life here at home instead of losing their life in a battlefield, we have failed them. The community has failed them, and ourselves as veterans, we have failed them. And it's inexcusable. When a veteran tells me I'm alive today because of what you did, well, how do you put a price on that?